person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we no talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. And people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening or good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun live. Share the broadcast. I am doing the same. Wahala. That should have been the title of this broadcast, as from the written address of Kolu by his lawyers. They have just threatened the judiciary, threatened the entire country, that if they remove him because of Abuja votes, Wala fi deo, anarchy go deo, chaos go deo. To remove Kolu right now, now wall.
Ani Mayegun lawamo dododo. Mayegun diary. Ani esuraki. Mayegun ti de.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. After that, sit back, read the caption, read the description as well, right? And then you can make your contribution afterward. We are going to start soon. Share the broadcast.
Ijo ìgbádìyẹ. Presido bá rúfin o. Gómìnà kówó jẹ. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí pa. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnràgì. Mayegun ti dé.
Mo ti dé. So, ekuleo, and happy Sunday to you. To all of you who are still in Sunday, by the way. So, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. And if you have done all of the necessities, you've read the caption, you've shared the broadcast, you've dropped your offering, which is like the video, and now here you are, busy expressing your own view on the topic of the day. Brilliant, eh? Now, this is going to be me taking you through this in the analytical sense of it. So you are welcome to Mayegun's Diary, Political. Now, the news trending from Nigeria this day is that of Kolu. Okay. You have been following their tribunal case, like go to court, and all of the dramas around that. A lot of us, especially on this platform, that has been taking notes of all the important happenings within that their tribunal trial. In fact, a lot of us here are kind of convinced with the available evidence presented as exhibits in this their petition to nullify Tinubu's election, and then with their different prayers. You have been following. We have been following. But the only people who seems to not be following, or they have a different tribunal case entirely that they have actually been following, somehow, yesterday, it was time for Tinubu to submit his written address. Written address is when, after everything that happened during the petition, all the witnesses, what they said, evidence, exit, all things presented will be kind of wrapped up in a long speech, and it is written. It is like the summary of the entire case as they have seen it. Now, like I said, we saw from the beginning, because you know what I actually want to do tonight is that when I finish talking, I want you to please enlighten me. What do you think will happen if the court removed Tinubu? What do you think will happen? Do you think chaos will happen? Anarchy will happen? Nigeria will go up in smoke? What do you think? We'll get to that stage. But let's go to the beginning. Like I was saying, Peter Obi and his lawyers and Labour Party, they said the numbers they declared for him is a lie. Does not reflect the number of votes that their own agents managed to keep record of. Far more than it. And not just that, the numbers they allocated to Tinubu, he didn't actually get that number. And to prove that he didn't get the number, they requested from INEC to present the result they announced. Because by their own Electoral Act 2022, okay, the level of, the conduct of the election was going to be from the polling unit to the beavers, to the IREV, to the collation, and all of that until all results are available, then a winner will be declared. But in this instance, even though it took them over a week or thereabout, when they finally announced Kolu as winner, INEC they've only been able to upload just 41% of the results of the election. So from the beginning, Obi and his lawyers, they asked INEC to produce the results that they announced. At least you know the total of what Tinubu scored, what Obi scored, what Atiku scored. But present the document that, where you have the number. Because normally, when they tell you the winner, the second runner-up, the third, as people score in the votes, they will also tell you where elections were cancelled for one reason or another, where elections are postponed, how many valid votes, how many invalid votes, and the rest of that, they will give you all of that data. INEC didn't give anything like that. It was pretty much like, Tinubu has scored 8.7 million, and that's final. So when INEC finally presented the document they announced, the result they announced, out of 176,000 polling units that were supposed to have been where elections happened, and results manufactured or results are available. So INEC themselves, after playing hide and seek for a while, they finally succumbed and they presented what they called the election results. Now, from all of these election results, from all of the polling units everywhere, 18,088 of those election and polling unit results. I'm not saying 18,000 votes. I said 18,000 polling units results came back as blank pages. No numbers at all. You couldn't say this is how much Atif could score. This is how much Obi scored. This is how much Tinubu. You couldn't tell. And this was part of the truly certified copy stamped by INEC as the 2023 presidential election results. So having received that, Obi and his people, they presented Atiku and Obi, they presented that evidence and say, what is missing between those, within those 18,000 polling units? They came back to number one. This is like a new discovery. This isn't part of what the noise about falsification of results that happened glaringly in everybody's, glaring view. Is more than that. This is something that INEC said this is the result. But in this result, more than 3 million votes could not be ascertained who got what from those 18,000 polling units. Because from that 18,000 polling unit, they have 3 million votes at least from there. Who did they allocate the numbers to? Who was declared winner in those polling units and all of that? So that's why they presented that as an exhibit of the result announced by INEC. Now, having done that, things got to a stage whereby Obi and his people, they actually outlined the states they were challenging, including local government areas they were challenging. Even where they lost, they are not disputing that they lost, but they are disputing the allocated number. Where in a whole state like Bauchi, when INEC result will come out, it shows that Peter Obi and Labour Party, they scored maybe 95 votes in the entire Bauchi state. Meanwhile, in that same Bauchi state, about 4 or 5 local government areas, where Obi didn't win, but they were announcing Labour Party second with hundreds and hundreds of votes. In a single local government in Bauchi, Labour Party scored over 4,000 votes. But when they are now put the entire state's vote together, they said Labour Party scored 95 votes. So all these numbers here and there that they stole from them, they put all of them together and they presented the dispute on them. In fact, when they did their own collation and whatever, they demanded that it must be declared winner. That you need to declare me winner. I actually won. That was where the 25% Abuja also came to force. But here is a twist. Tinubu got 18% in Abuja. Atiku got maybe 11% or so. Now, Tinubu didn't get 25%. They rigged all the election, but they forgot to rig Abuja. Somehow, that came back to bite them. Okay? So 25% in Abuja. No, there's Abuja is like a state. Now, that argument of whether you go get 25 or whether 25% means something or not, in fact, it actually means a lot. And INEC knows that. Okay? So the twist here is that Atiku is not asking that it should be declared winner. Atiku and PDP, they are demanding for a rerun election that will not involve or include Tinubu because they're asking him to be disqualified. Peter Obi is asking to be declared winner, having fulfilled all the constitutional requirements that put him in a state that he actually won 27 states. He actually had his 25% in 27 states, including Abuja. And that was what he presented in their trial. So when APC came back, they came back with their written, to make it look like nothing happened during that their trial, nothing. It got to a stage whereby when INEC was lying, that something happened to their server that only stopped presidential election results from being uploaded. Other results were easily uploaded. Here you get. They brought in an expert, the people who actually manufactured the software that INEC used in your election. And they came and they said, there's no record of any glitch. In fact, what happened was that it was, manually turned off. It's like somebody going on their system and just turned that thing off. That nobody could use it. There was no glitch, no traces, no nothing. That was presented as part of it. They brought in people from inside INEC as witnesses to witness how the inner play of how the rigging even happened in some places, including River State. But when Tinubu and his lawyer, when Tinubu's lawyers closed their remark, you know what they did? They said, Peter Obi and Labour Party, they couldn't prove anything. They were just going fishing, looking for anything that they can use. Sure, you get that. In fact, Peter Obi is not arguing about the election results. That Peter Obi is not arguing about in fact, they believe that Peter Obi said the election was very peaceful. The only problem they have is that INEC did not upload the result on IRF. That's what they wrote in their written this, that they couldn't prove anything. That was just noise. Meanwhile, when it was time for Tinubu to present his own evidence, witnesses and all that, they presented just one witness. The witness that came to indict Tinubu that indeed he was a drug trafficker who forfeited $460,000 to avoid jail in early 90s. But according to them, that was a long time ago. Nigeria law says if you committed any crime, even if you got jailed for it, after 10 years, you can become president. That was the argument too. But when they were writing their own closing written address, you know what they put there? It was like, it's a waste of time of this court. Look at them. They are just using hearsay. I heard from here, I heard from there. They couldn't prove anything. INEC proved that the election was the best, blah, 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 in that written address. So when they finally closed, they said, Peter Obi is asking the court, the judges, to help him find evidence. That's what they wrote in there, 42 pages. That in all of this trial that you have been watching all this while, that they didn't happen. None of those happened. In fact, it was just for social media clouds. There was actually no trial, no nothing. In that, that's exactly the point. In fact, some people actually who read the content of that address, written address of Tinubu, and they felt like, man, except it is true that Nigeria has no judiciary, okay? If they should turn around and look at that watery stuff, and all that happened, and they still clear Tinubu, Baba, forget it, you have no country. Like they shabbily written, and then in that same written address, they now said that the court should bear it in mind that since Tinubu came in, that Nigeria has been getting better and better and better. And Nigerians are so happy with Tinubu's policies that if they should go and announce that Tinubu didn't win because of 25% in Abuja, that can create chaos. So it will lead to anarchy. So let me remind you something again. The expected announcement. I haven't read the content of Peter Obi's written address or articles written address. I haven't read them yet. And I promised you that once I lay my hands on them, I'm going to bring them here and we're going to review them like we did last night. Yeah. So they put it in there that as it is right now, that if they should remove Tinubu, 8.7 million Nigerians that voted for him, they will shut down Nigeria. But did 8.7 million actually vote for Tinubu? In Lagos State, somebody who happened to be a member of PDP during that election, a PDP presidential monitoring team said this, just a day or two after the election, when they spotted that the abracadabra was about to take place. This is on record though, months back, few days after the announcement of the election. Watch this.
And 36,000. And I have I made some footnotes before, coming in here in anticipation that these questions might come up. In Lagos, our situation room record shows that Labour Party has 983,069. PDP has 101,039 votes. APC has 155,101 votes.
Correct.
And the NNPP has 7,550.
These were people who actually sent their own agents to the field. How did Tinubu's 155,000 in his own mega Lagos? In case some of you have forgotten, I will kind of bring it back to you. Yes, I'll bring it back to you. Because the narrative is already kind of changing. Abi? And they are forcing it. They are forcing it. How did 155,000 votes change to 570,000 votes for Tinubu? How did 980,000 votes, nearly 1 million votes, for Obi in Lagos suddenly changed to 580,000? How did the gap of over 800,000 in Lagos alone, how did it shrink to just 9,000 difference? In Rivers State, Tinubu scored 130,000 votes, despite Were Wike's, madness that day. But what did they do? It switched from 130,000 votes. They gave Tinubu over 200,000 votes in Rivers State. Peter Obi that scored 210,000 votes in Rivers State. They reduced his votes down to 170,000 votes. Now, 40,000 votes in Rivers State, despite all of the rigging and everything. Sure you get. How did 130,000 became 230,000, over 100,000 votes? In Plateau State, where they also lost woefully. Tinubu APC, the campaign chairman of his party, his presidential campaign chairman, Lalongi, who happened to also be the sitting governor of that state at the time, when the election of Plateau State started rolling in, from 1.7 million votes for Labour Party, they first reduced. They said, no, they didn't score more than 1.1 million votes. Within 24 hours, within 48 hours, when INEC finally released the result of Plateau State, Tinubu that struggled to get paltry 200,000 votes in Plateau State, they muscle him up. So close. And Peter Obi, they cut down over 800,000 votes of his in that same Plateau State. So all of this, when you begin to add them together, you realize these are the direct ones of his supposed score that got slashed ridiculously. So they said in Benue State, Labour Party won in 14 local government areas. Tinubu APC won in 9 local government areas. Atiku didn't win in any. Kwakwanso didn't in any. But when they declared their Benue State, they said Tinubu won in Benue State. So all of these are part of what they are challenging. Not just challenging, they are challenging the numbers too. Even where they declare them winner. When they pull, even the ones I just told you right now, these are just the major kind ones I can tell. They are listing out about 21 states. In some of them, they are not fighting that they won. No, our numbers were reduced here by this also number. When they put them together, the same criminal INEC, if you start doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you realize that Peter Obi's vote alone, Labour Party, you obedient, is over 10 million votes. They shrank, pushing you to thought, right, that if you begin to deduct Tinubu's total votes in that election, no reach 5 million. Do you understand? He no score 5 million. That's what they are trying to argue out of. So I'm waiting for what Obi and his lawyers will say. But tell me, if they remove him, what do you think will happen? War? Or what? Riot? You know, I told you that, or should I say, a lot of you currently don't actually believe in the courts. But you actually want to see how this is going to play out. After all you have seen and witnessed and you know that, you want to see how it's going to play out. Some of you are saying you are waiting for the courts before you know what to do. Whether you are going to start your revolution or whether you are going to start your, whatever you want to start. There are people who are saying they are waiting. And the system, the establishment in Nigeria knows this too. That a lot of you, in fact, hang on, before now, there have been campaigns, right? That you should watch your mouth, what you say about the judges. You should not bring the judges or Nigerian judges to social media. You should not bully the judges. You know, all those campaigns, they say, oh, you are bullying the judiciary on social media. All of these campaigns were coming from Tinubu. At a time, they initially wanted to push the agenda of, you know, when they were saying that some people are saying that it's not going to be inaugurated, sure you get, or nullify the election. They paid that they should push the agenda of June 12, MK Abiola, Yoruba, and all of that to say, oh, they are ganging up against Yoruba. Oh, they don't want a Yoruba man to be president. Look at all of this. If anybody tried to stop a Yoruba man. So when they realized that that won't really fly, that was like going to be extreme at that time, they mellowed. They're going to start playing that soon. Now, they were accusing a lot of you of what they are scared of. They're accusing you that you are planning government, interim government. They are accusing you of maybe you are encouraging coup in Nigeria. All these are their personal fear. There are some of you, you are planning to shut down Nigeria, that you are going to reject the judgment of the Supreme Court or judgment of the Tribunal if it doesn't go your way. Not that you have actually come out and say we will not accept any judgment other than anything that they declare will be winner. I haven't seen anyone among the obedient or even anybody around Obi or anybody, even around PDP. I haven't seen anybody around Atiku that said, hey, if they don't declare Atiku winner, if they declare Tinubu, this country is going to... Nobody. Now only APC, Egbekegbe, the scallywags. They are the ones who are projecting their fear, their worry. It's like you stole something, okay? And you didn't expect all this force, this too much force, right? Like, why is everybody like, why is it so hard? Am I the only first person that will first rig election? What is wrong with people? Why is it that they cannot let go? Why can't they just move on? Sure you get. And every time you are worrying that maybe something is going to happen. Maybe some people are going to, you know, maybe this victory is not going to last. And because of that, if that should be the case, then what are they going to do? Are they going to make the country ungovernable? Are they not? That's all those things, right? They are now projecting them on a lot of you because they are worried. Yes, they are. They control the judiciary. They control the military. They control the media. They control almost everything. But yet, they still feel like they are still seeing the shadow of what they have done. And sincerely, except the tribunal actually feel the threat, because the threat right now is they are now threatening the judiciary. You are not threatening judiciary, right? Because most of you are just like, you are waiting. We just want to see what they will do. This one is actually sending a direct threat through his own lawyers. That you look at all of these things, it's a waste of time. Nigerians already love Tinubu. They are already moving on. Now the country is already growing. It's already making policies, blah, 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 blah. The world leaders are already fighting to see him. A lot of them are queuing everywhere. You know what? All those stuff. They are bombarded. They are now dropping that in their written address to the judges to say, listen, if you should nullify this election. In fact, in their written address, by the way, they said that Peter Obi is asking for something he will not benefit from. They said, my lord, this honorable court, it will surprise you that Peter Obi and Labour Party, they are asking for a rerun or to be declared winner. Somebody that came third is asking to be declared winner if they can disqualify the person that is declared winner. Meanwhile, they said everything Obi is asking for is actually asking them for a thief coup. I don't know if you have seen that propaganda yet. They are twisting it, but it's actually in that written document. It is in written address to the court that if the court says they should do a rerun tomorrow, Obi will not participate. That's what they said in that written address, which is not true. Are you with me? So all of these are like, so my lord, It is very expensive to conduct another election. In fact, it is even dangerous to even disqualify Tinubu and say he should be arrested for perjury, for forgery, and then for crooked violation of democracy or democratic process, compromising the democratic process in Nigeria. He will be arrested. So what will happen? Chaos. The Agberos, everybody. I will let you answer that, okay? Because I actually want to make it an open convo as well. So Atiku is also going to respond. And then after that, the tribunal will give their judgment. And I remember, in fairness to them, the judiciary, the tribunal, they said they are going to treat this Una case. They're going to treat it as based on its merits, not on technicalities. Tinubu and gang, they are relying on technicalities. Technicality is when they say, for example, during the trial, Obi's lawyers were supposed to say, my lord, but they didn't say that, my lord, at 11 o'clock in the morning. So, my lord, technically, you will remember that on record, they didn't say my lord at 11 a.m. So, because they didn't say my lord, 11 a.m., my lord, I want you to throw out all of the things they have given, evidence, everything. The case is worthless because they didn't say my lord. Maybe that one is kind of a ridiculous example, right? Let me give you another one that is so similar. Let's say they are challenging the nomination of Shitiman, for example, okay? And because there is a judgment, okay, that said Shetima was duly nominated, okay? And the Obi's lawyers are saying, no, he wasn't duly nominated based on so and so. So they will now say, well, my lord, in their statement, they said that the closing date for INEC nomination was on the 24th, okay? But, my lord, they said that Shetima didn't submit his nomination until the 27th, 3 days after the deadline. That is what they are proving, my lord. But, my lord, sir, my lord, do you know that they made a mistake? The actual deadline was on the 25th. But in their document, they stated that the deadline of INEC was on the 24th of May, and Shetima submitted on the 27th. We didn't say Shetima didn't break that rule, but my lord, they made a mistake. Instead of on the 25th, they said on the 24th. So my lord, based on that technicality, all of this evidence is hereby null and void. We want you to throw them out. That's what is called technicality. Not that they make any mistake or anything, no. Technicality based on how they filed their case, how they submitted, or how they number their exhibit evidence and all that. Sure, you get how they, how they kind of submitted them sometimes. Yeah, these are the area of technical areas. Okay, how somebody got nominated or not, how you actually argue that. They will now say, oh, you didn't say on the 25th, even though Shetima also violated this. But because you see, you made a mistake. Instead of you to say 25th, you are saying on the 24th. So because of that, we are going to listen to the argument of the counsel to the respondents. But on this case, we hereby thrown out all this based on this technicality. We hereby thrown out this entire petition. That's it. Breaking news. Tinubu defeats Obi Atiku. The tribunal said Tinubu won. The media will just feast on it. But guess what? The media, the judiciary, decided not to look at any evidence at all anymore because of the filing date error. That's it. So that's what these guys are looking up, right? They are actually working on. They are also saying, my lord, even this Obi self, they don't nominate him normally. He not be member of Labour Party. So my lord, technically, this guy shouldn't even be challenging Tinubu in court. In fact, technically, my lord, he's not even a candidate. So those are the technicalities Tinubu's lawyers are hanging on. So if And according to them, if the judges, the tribunal, should go and look at evidence, and they should remove Tinubu, and they ended up removing Tinubu, chaos in here, anarchy neo, anarchy nibu, anarchy don't do everywhere already. Hunger day everywhere, chaos day everywhere. Describe chaos, describe anarchy, that is more than the kind of anarchy that is kicking the stomach of so many Nigerians right now. Hunger, shege bansa, right? So, like I said, I'll leave that to you, and I'll let you come back and share. You know what I mean. However, before we move on, I want to go to Abuja. I will add this, just a quick one. Somebody who happened to be a PDP member also stated this on record.
Like you said, the Labour Party came all out from the blues. In less than 2-3 months, it generated the same votes that PDP generated that has lasted for 25 years. And barring any last-minute abracadabra, they would have won election themselves.
Thank you. So I was kind of chatting with my friends on the TikTok, because you know that place, you see Lagos Abobaku's there, and they will be there. You the craze, you are mad. You this Mayegun go kill you, go punish you. Why did you hate Kineko? I was telling them that you see my own supporters who are on TikTok, obedient who are there. Okay, they can be arguing with themselves, fighting themselves. Okay, because I'm not reading the comments. However, they should take a easy with themselves. So until that video stop. But let's go to our Abuja before we go to Kenya, and then before we open the line. All right. 3 days ago or 4 days ago, right? The former crooked criminals called the former governors, 1999 to 2003, 2007 sets. They converged in Abuja because one of them has become governor, the president, Tinubu. And this was how that kind of went. I want you to see it. The credit goes to the AIT for this clip.
A convivial atmosphere as President Bola Tinubu receives the class of 1999 governors at the State House, Abuja. The president himself is a member of the group, having been Lagos State Governor during the period. The former governors were the first set of state chief executives upon the nation's return to democratic governance after a 16-year military interval. The meeting held at the council chambers had in attendance former governors James Ibori of Delta State, Donald Duke of Cross River State, Niyi Adebayo of Ekiti State, Lucky Ibinedo, Edo State, Oji Uzokalu, Abia, Sam Ego, Ebonyi, Olusegun Oshoba, Ogun State, Bisi Akonde, Osun State, among others. The president told his former colleagues that his administration was aware of the current economic challenges as a result of the fuel subsidy removal, saying efforts are on to address the situation.
And I understand people are suffering. Yes, there can be no childbirth without the pain. The joy of childbirth is a big relief of the pain. Nigeria is reborn. It is a rebirth for our country. To face our problem, to bring the savings, to benefit the largest number of people in the country, and not a few smugglers and exploiters. Please help tell the people to be a little patient. The palliative is coming. I'm doing the arithmetic. I don't want even the cash transfers to fall into wrong hands.
He says he will do everything to stabilize the country and protect democracy.
The job of making Nigeria great is my ambition, is my dream. To renew the hope of Nigerians. To really bring about changes that will promote unity, equity, stability, and prosperity for this country.
Briefing status correspondents after the meeting, the chairman of the group, Lucky Igbenado, said he commended the president for the steps taken so far to reposition the country and assured him of the unwavering support for his administration.
And also let him know that this is beyond party politics. We are not talking about the project Nigeria. Therefore, all hands must be on deck to give Mr. President the needed support and encouragement to foster a better country, a better nation.
Igbenado said they also discussed other pressing national issues with the president.
We talked about security, we talked about unemployment, and we talked about electricity, because without electricity, you really cannot develop. So for us to develop, then there must be constant, uninterrupted power supply. And the issue of subsidy is gone, and it's gone forever. People should start finding their level, and I'm sure with time, things will come to normal. And also the unification of the exchange rate into one now, as was also mentioned.
The class of 1999 governors expressed confidence in the ability of President Bola Tinubu to transform the country. Yemi Adebayo, AIT News, Abuja.
Those are the failed class of 1999 to 2000, and I mean, if they did good, you could tell. Like, Nigeria is poverty capital of the world today. Sure, you get Nigeria is poverty capital of the world today, and that is not anybody's making, other than the criminals who have had the chance to change the fortune of Nigerians, and they didn't. Well, they did change the fortunes of Nigerians to what you have today, the burden of Africa. Nigeria is a burden in Africa, and a lot of Africans are already showing that to Nigerians. The other day, Seychelles said that they don't want anybody that is holding Nigerian passport. She not me. I been a you go Seychelles, go commit the crime. Not me and you. But here we are. When you elect a drug baron and you have the history of your citizens smuggling drugs to wherever they can be sent to, because according to them, if you want to be out of poverty, do anything to be out of poverty, my brother. A lot of people, Nigerian anthem is that every time they be asking, what is the source of your wealth? What is the source of your wealth? But in Nigeria, nobody they ask for the source of your poverty. Do you see that? Have you not heard that before? Man, this guy, where this guy get money? What did this guy they do? My friend, shut up your mouth. What's your business with what he does? He's rich. He's a hardworking man. He's kinikon. What's your business? Every time you'll be asking, what's the source of his money? What is the source of his money? Have you ever asked